All right, and we are live. The October 1st. October is here. This is the company. We got a full cast of characters tonight. Got more topics with you and for you. On the panel tonight, we got Sosa, of course.
What?
We got Izzo down here. We got Rich down here, and
What
a
up?
new face. Got our buddy Jason joining us tonight.
Yo.
I don't know what that was, but but yeah, more topics happening. Hey, I'm gonna do this at the beginning instead of at the end. If you want to follow us and follow the shows that we do post, we're on Podbean, we're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud, and we're on Google Play Music, and of course, the live video is always on YouTube. We try to stay consistent with it every Monday night around 10 o'clock. But anyway, what we were gonna do is go ahead and get into our topics. I don't know how closely anybody is watching this political stuff, this melee, this comedy, this drama, this crap that's going on. But of course, we're having this thing with Mr. Kavanaugh trying to get into what is it?
Hey, we need to just start calling him K-Dog.
K-Dog, K-Dot. What was it? Did he give his nickname from college?
I don't know, man, but he if you see some of the names in those guys, man, it's like Tobin
and Quee.
Wait, what?
Gangbang Brett.
Oh my God.
Yo, they killed me with that.
He was a college student. He was a college student. I'm not saying that all college students did this stuff, but we all had that group. Now, the level of activities this guy had was like the weirdest shit. The calendar thing just blew my mind.
Yeah, that
allegedly had though.
Allegedly, okay.
Allegedly had.
If it's on the calendar, he did it.
Yeah, dude had beach week for literally 7 days, not 3, not 4, not 5. It was like Thursday through Thursday. I'm like, Jesus.
All
bro.
right. Can someone please explain to me? Has anyone ever played a drinking game called the Devil's Triangle?
I've never heard of that game.
No.
I know you got quarters and you got beer pong.
We played Shut the Fuck Up and Drink.
Right.
We played some, but I don't remember what they were called. I just remember the one where Ife said the wrong speed limit. That's the only one I remember us really playing.
Nah, I don't remember anything.
Oh, Rich, remember that?
I remember that. The speed limit 54. What?
I don't know, but
That dude was drunk.
I like beer.
I like beer.
I like beer. This whole thing is
Oh my God.
is a kind it's horrible, and I know this is a thing about women being put in positions that they're not supposed to be in, shouldn't be put in, and then being ashamed of it and coming out with it years later. But this dude just feels like he's lying to me. You ever heard somebody say, if you defend yourself too much, then you're probably guilty?
Absolutely. I've heard that.
I just feel like,
And that's the problem. Underage drinking, of course, is bad, but you lied about it.
See,
That's
the thing
it.
is,
He was technically 18 is what they claimed.
he was 18
and that's when the law was different.
right. Yeah, the drinking age wasn't 21 at the time.
Yeah.
it was 82.
I mean,
Damn, that's my birth year.
But honestly, yeah, but in all honesty, that's where the drinking age was at the time. It was 18.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean he was of age, but it's really weird,
if
man.
you were
Because
of age, then what's the problem?
well, see, the problem
Why
is
did you
the
lie
fact,
about it?
but the problem really comes in the fact that where it's like you got all these different things about your behavior that are coming up, and it's like, let's be real. I don't want to say like she's at fault or he's at fault or like whatever the case may be, but it's like there's an opportunity for you to have a discussion about all this, and you're basically just sitting there and saying like, well, I'm not guilty, but I don't want y'all to do anything that might make me look like I'm guilty. So let's not do that.
I mean, I don't know. For me, like, if he did do it, I mean, just own up to that shit, and then I might even still vote for you.
Vote?
Like,
We can't vote.
I'm just saying.
You mean like if you were a senator or whatever? I got you.
Right.
I mean,
like if you came
his
out, and you
supporters
was like,
don't
hey,
care.
what?
What did you say, Sosa? I missed it.
I said if he did it, his supporters don't care.
It
Oh,
doesn't.
no.
Yeah, it doesn't matter then one way or the other.
It's sad that I
mean,
see
what,
wo- go ahead.
what teenage boy don't grope a female? You know, everybody raised that. Well, I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't accuse me of rape.
Nope,
So-
not to that extent. Everybody might have played grab ass type shit, but nobody did the stuff he was doing that I
I've
know.
never done anything to a young lady that she did not want me to do.
All right, Brian.
That just seems so.
All right, Brian.
That's so.
All right, Brian.
My
Yeah.
conscience is clear.
I gotta
We-
say,
Listen,
You have no conscience.
I'm gonna
What
come in.
Kavanaugh.
How did they say it on Saturday Night Live? I'm gonna come in at an 11 and we'll go to a 15.
I don't know the meaning of the word stop.
What does no
We're
even
laughing
mean?
at this situation. It's not funny because
Yeah, it's not.
he did what
but-
he did.
But it was
But
just
to-
watch
ahead.
that shit. It was just
It's the actors
amazing,
what made it.
bruh. It was amazing. Like it was. You watch him like, oh, SNL gonna kill it in the back of your head because it was pure comedy. Like the dude was angry. He was
know
so
what?
angry at
75
moments.
You know what this
Yeah, he
reminded me
did.
of? You know what that moment reminded me of? Remember
up?
on Dave Chappelle when he did Howard Dean? Yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker literally was lit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And can y'all ask me this? Why, if these people are senators and a lot of these people, of course, 99% of them are lawyers, why did they have to get a prosecutor to ask questions?
Because they're all men.
Because they wanted to make sure there was a female in attendance.
But that means they don't know how to talk to a female, so they part of the problem.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, like statistically speaking, it's
Why you
better.
laughing, Brian?
No, man.
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
I agree with you. But what happens in a lot of cases like this, when it comes to like
sexual assault.
sexual assault,
Mhm.
it's better to have a woman present because it's
No, I
just
get
the
that.
thought of talking to a man. Unfortunately, it brings a negative connotation. But I mean,
Right. It's like having a board.
right?
Everybody needs to be represented.
Mhm.
Yeah. What y'all thought of your boy Lindsey Graham though?
Southern Belle.
Fuck that dude.
Damn.
Hey, he's gonna get elected to whatever spot he
Yeah.
wants, though.
He wants to be attorney general.
Right. He
That's
once
what he wants to
session
be.
when Sessions goes out, yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna be.
that's why he kisses Trump's ass so hard. Like he'll be against Trump,
had glowing
but then
words.
he'll run right back to daddy and be on his ass.
I can't see how you could be like. I mean, I know we all talk about like political theater, but man, if you get, there's got to be a point to where like your level of disrespect that you've taken on, like Ted Cruz, for example, like there's no way anyone on this planet could be like, oh yeah,
They
this
talked
is
about you,
That's
your
a
wife, and your pappy.
he basically did Pusha T's whole disc.
Yeah, he did. He really did. He really did.
He's trash. I'm ashamed to have him as a part of our whatever.
What? I don't claim Kanye. It's okay. He ain't got to claim him.
this man.
Hey, speaking of Kanye, y'all see my man? He come out. He was all they
No.
bullying me backstage. They bullying me backstage.
Man,
They
Was that on
bullying
Saturday
you?
Night Live?
That was after Chris Rock took video of him doing his little pseudo like pro Trump rant.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know what, man? I don't even want to knock my man. Like,
I do.
if that's your political ideology,
Keep it
Fine,
to your
whatever.
motherfucking self.
nah, I would even say
No,
that.
not to
Yeah.
that extent, but just
But-
like he keeps trying to push, and everybody's like, "Are you not getting it? Like we don't want to hear what you have to say because you keep making it sound like it's all about love." But it's like, bro, you can't make a swastika, be all
Yeah,
grandiose and great. That's kind of what he's doing. Right
Yeah,
now.
he's
That's all
like
people are trying to tell him. And he keeps like, "No, just
Yeah,
shut
he's
up.
like-
and you're losing the battle." That's all I'm saying.
he's fanning. It's like he's fanning the flames on purpose. And
Oh,
to say it like, and the thing about Kanye is, like it's a lot of people who are more right leaning are like, hey, this dude is like really, really thinking about stuff. It's like the man has actually said that he doesn't read.
Yeah,
So
he did. Yeah.
that fact alone means that you cannot be considered a thought leader if you don't use books.
And then talked about abolishing the 13th Amendment. So all he needs to do is go to Netflix and watch
Watch 13th, right?
And that'll solve that problem right there if he got any sense. But I don't think he does.
I just wish people know that he was always a dickhead.
As
I mean,
a
I
fellow
think- I
Chicagoan.
think people know that.
Yeah.
But
I think
that he should
understand that
definitely
now.
be able to, you know, he should definitely be able to voice his opinions and everything. It's just,
I agree.
Yeah, we just don't agree with that motherfucker.
Listen, yeah, you should pick your audience.
Mhm.
Considering how Saturday Night Live has been leaning for the last 40 or 50 years, you can't go there and tell people that Trump is good.
You know who's watching.
That's not the target audience.
That's not
There
your
you
audience.
go. Exactly. Y'all make good points there.
That's not your audience. I think people are so politically on fire right now.
Yeah.
Considering that this whole thing is a dumpster fire.
Tire fire.
You know, there's no reasoning with the average political addict.
No.
You know, on either side. There's no telling a right winger that Trump's good. There's no telling is it right?
No, a left
right.
winger.
Left.
I don't know, but for some reason what you said sounded so racist just now. I don't know why.
A right winger.
I don't know why.
You right winger. You been listening too much at work, bro.
It just sounded so harsh, man.
But there's no reasoning with anybody right now. So that's why I've given up convincing or talking or discussing anything that I don't believe in with people who believe in that subject. Because you can't talk to them.
Yeah, you can't.
And eventually it's gonna come to insults.
Right.
And it's gonna come to you actually dismissing yourself with somebody who you probably knew for 15 years.
Yeah.
All because of this fake political bullshit that really means nothing, because all the people out here that's not in that office, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you broke as fuck.
Yeah.
And they don't care about you up there.
Because the rich people are the
I wish I would have worn my MAGA hat tonight, man.
man, fuck out.
I'm about to cut you off of this thing. Man.
Yeah, we can block you.
That's what I call the eject button. We got
Nah,
Ding,
man.
ding, ding.
I promise
I
I
really
was
think that I really think that Kanye has some mental issues. To be honest with you, I don't think he's all there.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
that don't mean shit.
But
And
you know go ahead.
He's like full on Kardashian right now.
Yeah, and that's my problem. It's like if you had a real ride or die chick when they got your back, she wouldn't let you be out here acting a fucking fool.
But see, he did the George Bush don't like black people before Kardashian.
That's my point. My thing is, wouldn't a real one reel you in? Any of y'all women would reel you in like, yeah, you know you're acting crazy out there. They just let it go because publicity, make them all look good. They get more checks.
Well,
that's all they
but
care
so
about.
so real talk though, like from my understanding on hearing her on the radio show, she actually tried to do that. She tried to pull him in multiple times and was like, look, like they don't understand your point of view. They're not going to feel your point of view. And she even was like, I don't feel your point of view. So I mean, she
probably tried to be nice and roundabout about it. He needs somebody to come up and say, Kanye, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So I mean, so what do you think about the whole joint that him and T.I. did then?
What are we talking about?
I did not care.
I thought T.I. needed to tell him shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, like he did on the track though.
He did.
He was like, why can't you see that?
I think T.I. did the best that he could, but I don't know how much Kanye listened.
You see, what they're still trying to do is turn Kanye or think that he's still a black leader.
Right.
Put him in positions to be in front of a black audience to say things to sway us.
Right.
But it's not working.
Right. And he's keeping I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah, and see, and to that exact same point, it's like they keep putting him in places where he is considered unwelcome, and it's like he's trying to fight this battle that no one's willing to carry the torch for.
That's true.
Because I mean, like, let's be honest, like the whole Saturday Night Live thing. If you're saying like you're Superman, you about to bring your cape out and all this other stuff. I don't think I remember hearing Superman bitching one time about getting a bullet shot at him. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know, so I mean, it's just
that was the nicest threat on somebody's life I think I ever heard.
I mean,
Sosa's still here?
I think he left.
Hi.
Oh, okay. We just see your
I see his picture. Yeah,
profile pic. That's all.
Nah, man, but it's
that's creepy.
It's just funny, man, because he's talking about all this stuff about how he wants to be a thought leader and he wants to do this and wants to do that, but everything that he's doing is just nothing but complaining and then saying, "Oh, woe is me, I'm so hurt. Y'all don't like me, so I'm about to show y'all how you can like me." And no one cares. Like no one really.
Who said this?
Talking about Kanye.
Yeah, like in his rant on this.
We know so.
Yeah, we got it.
Anyone who listens to this show for 2 minutes knows you don't like Kanye.
Yeah, so we got like
his rant. Look, and Jason's not the only one. A lot of people say, "Well, he's got mental issues." So do I, but I know what's right and wrong. I mean, let's abolish the 13th Amendment. Shit, even I'm stupid, but even I know that's not a good idea.
Well, I think the part that he was trying to say on that is, and I'm not the greatest with amendments and everything, I'll be honest with you, but I think there's a part in the 13th that says something like you can be put back in slavery if something.
Right.
Pretty much. You got the gist of it.
But he's saying abolish the whole. He didn't say part.
Well,
he said the whole.
And he didn't say amend the 13th Amendment either.
Right. Yeah, which would have made more sense. But to Rich's point, Kanye self-proclaimed himself as someone that doesn't read. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So when you only know a little bit about a subject and you're trying to talk heavily or influence something about that subject, you're gonna get shit all kind of wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
you missed
Kanye. I think what he's thinking is okay. Like I'm trying to think of an analogy. So let's say there's a ground with a bunch of swords in it, and all these swords are like things to stop bad things from happening. When we look at the sword, we think of those bad things. So I think what he's saying is remove the sword and we won't think about it anymore. So if you take the 13th Amendment away, that thing that's making us think about slavery isn't there anymore, so we won't think about slavery anymore.
But us colored people don't trust what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's dumb. I would never. Hell no. You ain't getting my vote.
It ain't really about colored people. I hope some white people know, like, they'd come for you too. And they is the powerful.
Can't trust it.
I'm just gonna say that white is a color too. That's all I'm gonna say.
At this point,
you make a good point. They're gonna come for you.
At this point, it's not even about black and white anymore. It's just us and them.
It's social economics is what it is.
Yeah,
you're talking.
There you go.
Because there's going to be a lot of people in the same hood and different hoods, and some of them rich hoods that's going to suffer.
But I mean, that's another point to the fact that Kanye is off his rockers a little bit, right? Because we all heard of influenza. You know what I'm saying? And so my man is from straight poverty, so now he got money. He's already admitted that he's got some psyche issues, and now you throw in a affluenza, how the hell you say that? Yeah. I'm so poor I can't even say this shit. You know what I'm saying? So
can't say the rich words.
No, that's crazy. So like his mental is all over the place because he don't know poverty, rich, poor, white, black. He don't know where he's at right now. He's just crazy.
I'm trying to identify with this man. There are moments in Kanye's life that separated him from that old life. When he got in the accident, that he doesn't remember a time before he was in the accident. Because before that, it was whatever. But then he got an accident. He had the surgery, all that blah, 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 changed his life. He stepped away from the old life. And after that, his mom passed. He can't remember a time before his mom passed.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you start to forget that stuff. So at this point, he's just completely separated from where he was like 2 or 3 events ago.
Yeah, that's heavy.
So and if you're somebody like Trump, you look for people like him who you can mold and convince. And
Trump dropped his name all weekend.
Yeah, bro.
All weekend. I caught me one.
It's almost like white. It's almost like old white slave masters in slavery, where they would take like certain slaves and they would treat them so much better than the others, right? And it kind of then makes them the voice of the white slave masters.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to look for a black leader.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah, he's not.
Well, actually, it is the same thing.
It is the same thing. Good analogy. It is the same thing. This guy. Well,
What's
that
that?
actually might be a good transition then, since we talked about a rapper.
Bam.
We'll talk about Weezy.
Because I'm sick of Kanye.
Yeah, we can get off Kanye. We can get off Yeezy, go to Weezy.
We're gonna talk about the Gremlin.
Oh.
All right, so Lil Wayne dropped the album. Okay. What's else going?
He's dead.
We ain't gonna talk about just Wayne, man. Come on. Bear with
Yeah,
me.
we got a big hip hop topic for you, so,
All right,
so we know you got it.
Lil Wayne dropped the album. It was Carter 5. Of course, we know the Carter 5 surrounded by controversy. He was on the baby didn't want to let him go, owed him money, blah, 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 lawsuits. 4-5 years later, however long it's been, Carter 5 drops. I dug the album, seemed a little bit choppy to me. Seems like it was a bunch of random songs with no kind of connection between the songs. Whatever. Do you think, since he's been out of the game so long, and we've seen this because we've all been listening to hip hop
all our lives,
almost three decades each, probably almost.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a time if you're an artist that you should just hang it up?
Man, look. First
Is
off,
there a certain amount of time? Do you have to wait until your skills deteriorate? Do you wait until the hip hop changes and then just say?
I say
fuck it?
Jason should start because Jason is a rapper or has rapped.
Yeah, this is his topic.
Characterize it,
So-
so he can start.
well,
Go ahead,
this
old
wasn't-
wise one.
This wasn't my topic, but I'm
No, it
all the
was
way
not.
on board with it.
Mhm.
So, no, a lyricist or rapper is a musician, right?
Mhm.
Name one other genre that you ever question and say because you are old now you should no longer, make this music. That's insane to me.
100%.
It's crazy. Now, should your music change?
There you go.
Absolutely. You should reinvent yourself if you're a musician constantly, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get left behind or you stuck in the same old stagnations, right? But should you
work.
just stop working because of your age? Absolutely not. I mean, look at it. I don't care what anybody says. He had his bad times with the accents and all that stuff. M's 45. My man is still a lyrical genius, right?
Right.
T.I. is like 40. He's what, 38, 40,
Yeah,
something like
38, 39. Yep.
that? My man is still nasty, right? I mean, so Black Thought is about to join a super group. Black Thought,
Bruh.
Rhyme Fest,
and who's the other
and
person?
Fonte.
Is it
Oh,
Fonte?
yes.
Fonte.
I said
They about to
Fonte.
do
A few super groups coming out. I know that's not the only one.
Right, and so Black Thought, that's my number one lyricist. I don't even know how old is. Let me look it up. But I know my man's old. You can't tell me he ain't sick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I go back to my initial one, man, to start this off. No matter your age, you should not stop making your music. Your music should just change with time.
Because
So you
Jay-Z,
think if you refuse to change, then you should stop?
Depends on what you do. If what you're doing is timeless or not.
Well,
Like
let's
I
say,
can listen to Black Thought nonstop.
well, you know how Run DMC rap. It's all dun, 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 and then the other person. Dun, 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 dun. If they refuse to change, should they come out with an album in 2018?
Well, I mean, think about
Didn't they
how
kind of do it down with the Kings? Didn't it sound a little different?
yeah.
yeah.
So
Go ahead,
think
go
about
ahead,
how
Jason.
all things kind of come back around, right?
Mhm.
And how many times Bell Bottoms done came out, went and came back?
High-waisted pants.
High waist of pants.
I know
I'm
Rich
saying-
hate that.
God.
Ass
So
look like a bag of sand.
Like,
So
women
they-
like it. Stop, guys.
if they ride that wave, eventually that same wave gonna come back through, and they'll be able to do it. It'll be nostalgic, but it'll be dope. It'll be like new nostalgia.
I keep thinking about Donald Glover's comedy special, Weirdo, where he's talking about old school rappers, talking about how they used to rap, talking about going to the hat store so I can buy myself a hat.
By the way, Black Thought is 46, man.
See?
My man was born in 71.
Yeah.
And there's very few lyricists out there that are even new artists that can hang with that dude.
Oh,
I
no.
totally agree.
Well, I agree. I don't think a MC should stop. I mean, when you can't relate anymore.
See that? I think
I
that's
got
the key.
one who
Yeah.
like hit the wall. LL Cool J hit the motherfucker.
I do think
He did.
So for
Well,
him,
but he could,
acts. and be a
he-
TV host.
He couldn't reinvent himself though.
He
Think about it. That's what I was
yeah.
saying before. Because
Mhm.
his whole image was really mainly about
For
rhyming to the women, right?
Yeah.
And then we come to a point in hip hop where it wasn't nothing about making your women happy or taking care of your woman. It was about degrading the woman, right? And it's been that way for quite some time.
Mhm.
So he hit that wall because of that. He couldn't reinvent himself.
So, is there anything to add?
So I don't know.
You know.
Fuck LL.
He ain't ever gonna be
He'll
on.
be on the show.
God damn it. Put him on the
Yeah,
list.
we don't want you on the show anymore.
Damn.
Whoa.
Anyway.
What James Todd Smith do to you?
Okay, the LL topic is for another show because that's gonna take more than
Got
5
you.
minutes.
Hey, that's a sore spot.
I 100% agree with what Jason said. If Grateful Dead I don't know if all their members are still alive, but if all the members are alive and they put out a concert,
Yeah, Jerry
they're
Garcia.
probably
Jerry
still-
Garcia is dead.
Yeah.
Okay, well I didn't do it, so I wouldn't know.
Hey, didn't somebody say
The
earlier
Beatles-
you go out your way to
Hey, you
try
know,
and make it seem like you didn't do something you guilty?
Right,
I
exactly.
think you Ted Cruz, Daddy.
Yeah, you take good with that.
Might be. If any of those big groups from back in the day, Queen, they would sell, anybody like that. So if art is art,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with Jason. Where I'm kind of on the fence though, and I'll use Jay-Z. I love his first album.
Oh yeah, I
Anything
think
after
everybody.
that, I'm like,
really?
eh,
Not the Blueprint though. In my lifetime, you didn't like that one?
No, they had too many radio friendly stuff.
Yeah, but that was the era though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Right, but I don't have to like the era either.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
So
that was my point about reinventing yourself. Like
Mhm.
Jay-Z is a prime example of someone that can be an old head in the game, continuously reinventing yourself and still making your music relevant.
and I get that. And he even stated that. He said, how could I call myself an artist if I still did Reasonable Doubt?
Oh
Right.
yeah.
I get it. I don't have to like it, but I get it. Redman, he's another one who did not reinvent himself.
No.
He talked about the same shit he talked about now that he did in 92. The difference between 92 and 2018 is he had a short time where he started doing movies and TV. And his lyrics just was trash.
He is a beast though.
I'm getting distracted by Marcus.
After he stopped doing the TV shows and the movies, he started writing again. Okay, now you back on it. So I don't believe in age being an issue. I believe in whether you're dope or not. Benzino was 40 years old when he started that beef with Eminem, and he was trash.
Yeah,
Oh god.
But he was always trash.
Right.
And
Benzino was born trash, man.
he lying.
Right, exactly. So
He came out the womb, man.
it
His
didn't
mama
matter if he
like,
was
"You
young
gonna
or
be a
old.
garbage
You're
rapper."
trash. And I don't want Benzino on the show anyway, so fuck him.
I'm a creep.
At Jay-Z 48, by the way, since we started.
So,
No, wrong person again.
Yeah.
that wasn't Benzino?
No, that was Chino Bling.
Oh shit. Chino XL.
Chino
This is-
XL. I mean,
no.
Chino Bling. Chino XL.
Yeah, you
Nah,
suck at
man.
like
That's
Remember it was
twice.
Booty.
That's
Remember
twice.
you
Sony
mixed it
Tales
up
mixed
last.
I understand everything Jason said, but I don't have to agree that like everybody likes Blueprint 2 for Jay.
Blueprint
It's good.
2.
All
Who
right.
said that?
But I
Nobody
like
said
Reasonable
that.
Doubt better. I'm sorry, I like Reasonable Doubt better.
No, Blueprint.
Print.
Yeah. There's 2 syllables. Blueprint.
What did I say?
Blueprint.
You said
2.
Blueprint too, or you meant Blueprint as well?
None,
Thank you, Izzo.
whatever would take over.
Oh, Blueprint.
Yeah,
Blueprint.
Blueprint. Yeah. Okay.
Nobody
What
talking
did y'all
about
think I
gut.
said?
You said Blueprint too. Ain't nobody talking about Blueprint 2 ever.
So you saying that was one of his failed albums?
Yes.
No, I didn't say that.
Whoa.
I just said I like Reasonable Doubt better.
Like Kingdom Come was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
so like since we talk about Jay-Z, right? So Nas Nas is another form of an artist that is beyond ill and has done really good things for the culture and for hip hop music, but he couldn't reinvent himself. Right? He's still kind of like Redman. He's stuck on the same thing he was doing previously.
And he don't have to though. Like some people don't have to. That's what I was getting at with Redman. Redman's still extra successful.
Marcus just asked you
but
something.
Some people, like you said, like Run DMC, they're
Marcus just asked who what.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sosa, but sorry.
Oh, what
How you see it?
Read your chat,
how you see comments
Sosa.
and stuff?
He's in the chat.
I'm missing it.
Somebody made a point in the chat on the YouTube page.
Hi, Leah.
They said, as long as the artist is still getting paid, they should continue.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the Rolling Stones.
There's always going to be a fan base.
Right.
There are fans that are following.
Jay-Z look like
no
radio
matter.
now. He's still getting paid for concerts. So
Who?
He said
Jay-Z look like
look
radio.
God damn it.
But he's still getting paid for concerts. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
man.
And there are people, no matter how garbage some artists get, there are people that are going to follow them. Shit. Vert and all them other little boys got fans, and they garbage. I mean, there's no really dancing around.
Uzi Vert. I thought you said Lil Vert. I'm like, you
No,
will not.
no.
Oh,
There's no dancing around.
and I'm like, two of them dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, but yeah, there's no dancing around how I feel about new hip hop. Most of it, 95% of it is garbage.
yeah.
So, I mean, and they still have fans. They're making millions of dollars. They're not worried about me not liking them or not buying their shit. But these are people that aren't going to be able to reinvent themselves because they're one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's no other part of them to show.
And see, and that's the key point, because I'm thinking about, like, you'll probably never hear Jay-Z rap live, girls, girls, girls. Like, I doubt it. And it's just because well, one, obviously Solange will be in that ass, but then two, yeah, but then two, you know, it's like that's not a part of that artist and how he is in his current state. Whereas when you get into these newer rappers, like you said, it's just, you know, it's like, you know, popping pills, women. It's like there's not another dimension that's being shown. There's not another story that's being told. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, and everybody sounds alike. So, yeah, like in another 5 to 10 years, are we even going to be talking about Lil Pump?
No, we're not going to be talking about him another next year. Probably dead.
Whoa, no,
damn. An example of a hip hop artist that's layered is Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
This man had so many different sides to show when he started. Huh?
You ain't lying.
Yeah, like he had time to say, I'm gonna spend 5 years rapping like this. He could have planned it out. I'm gonna spend 5 years rapping like this, and I'm gonna change it up and rap like this, and then I'm gonna blow everybody's mind and then rap like this, because he has so many dimensions behind what he does.
You want to know a random hip hop fact?
What?
That about Busta Rhymes?
What?
You remember the song "Do Me" by Belle Biv DeVoe?
Yeah.
Do you remember the rap part?
Yeah. He wrote it.
Backstage underage. Yeah, he wrote that. He wrote that.
Wow.
Now imagine Busta saying it. Backstage underage. Like to do the wild thing.
Yeah. But shit, he was probably underage then anyway, almost.
Think about it. He was native homes.
Talking about reinventing yourself, though, could you see Busta dropping an album right now?
Yeah.
In today's hip hop.
Absolutely.
Easily.
And I buy it.
He was ahead of his time back then, because it was different and weird to most people at first.
So he didn't lose weight yet.
Future to go get out that chat.
Shut up, so
you heard me? I say whoever put Future to GOAT in that chat, get out.
Yeah.
Man,
Future to GOAT. No, he put Benzino.
Man, Future ain't even in the past.
Oh, you're in the YouTube chat. Sorry.
Yeah.
Future ain't the present, he ain't the past,
Now,
he ain't the future, he ain't the GOAT.
I'll say this about Busta. When he was hot and he did when the disaster strikes and the extinction level event, he was getting kind of worn, and it got a little commercial.
You think it was too fast, right behind one of another?
Yeah, right behind each other like that.
I
But
think everybody has that commercial point though.
Yeah, everybody. Whenever, like, let's take Twister.
Okay,
Twister was dope when he did Get It Wet and all this other stuff, but then he hit fame.
Oh yeah,
the Jamie Foxx song.
Kanye finds his way into the conversation again.
with Kanye,
at least that was a Kanye that we can respect at that point.
I agree, fully, wholeheartedly agree.
But then they wore him out. So at that point, I got tired of it.
But I will say I was happy he finally got the props because everybody remember like the album that came out in the late 90s or 2000, whatever it was. Like everybody was like, that's a dope ass album.
I was telling y'all got to listen to the stuff with him and Speeding Out Mobsters and all this other stuff that's dope. But, you know, they kind of wore it out after a while. They got bored.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should stop.
No.
I think you should take some time.
I think there's two sides of it. One, you should never stop. Like someone said, if you're making money, right? And then on the other side of it, if you really care about your artistry and your music, as long as it means something to you and you can make it, you should never stop. Who cares about your age? Who cares if it's shitty? You know what I'm saying? If you love your music, right? And you putting your music out there to express yourself, who cares if it's even trash? You should continue to go.
Yeah, man. Nick Cannon's dropping mixtapes.
That's what I'm saying. His ass at least 80, right?
Nah, I think he's about to turn 40. I think he said he's 38, 39. I saw in the interview the other day.
Who?
That said Nick Cannon, man. What you thought I said?
He'll be on the show.
Damn, we gonna have Nick Cannon on the show now?
I don't know.
Nah,
they was just in Colombia, man.
I not as a hip hop artist, but as just a
business,
a hustler, man, I would love to have him on the show because I think he rebranded himself maybe 3-4 times.
Nick is what we're talking about in hip hop without actually being hip hop.
Right.
You get famous. You get famous for something. You see times changing. You change.
Right.
You stay relevant by doing little shit, not enough to make yourself look stupid or embarrass yourself, but just enough for us to say, say your name and know your name.
And be smart enough to have a plan B, because all he really got to do is Kevin Federline the hell out of Mariah, and he's set for life.
Yeah, and he got his own money. That's the funny part.
Right.
Yeah, I got a feeling he's almost at that point where a few more years he'll be doing that rockin' New Year's Eve if he hadn't already done it.
That makes a good point. I agree. I'm tired of Pitbull having one.
As far as DJs go, and as far as hosts go, rockin' New Year's Eve is where you want to be. Oh, when America trusts you to bring in the new year, that's president.
And unfortunately, we got Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, he got to kill Ryan.
We got who tried to give a blind dude high five.
I forgot about.
It's also like an elephant, man. He just remembers shit.
Yeah, but he don't remember like stuff he should.
No. I'm gonna get that CAT scan soon. Sorry, that was too private. Sorry.
Oh God, how we transition to our other hip hop topic with this?
Oh, you know, man, that's the.
What was the other hip hop topic? Hold on, I got to bring this up.
No, I can tell you, but it's like I want to go over this. I want to hear people's answers, but yeah.
All right, let's see. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, so since we're talking about hip hop, we're all old enough to have gone through several changes in our lives, several moments that we might want to forget that we'd love to remember. Is there any part of that you can attribute to hip hop or hip hop album or artist or anything where you could say I'm making a shift in my life because of this?
Or a shift in the type of music you listen to, or the type of hip hop you listen to too. Because how eras have changed, that's what made me think about it.
Anybody?
I mean, I can go first since I thought about it.
Go ahead.
I actually have 3, and one is actually not a hip hop artist. The first one that actually started making me listen to hip hop probably is I remember being at home watching MTV Jams, and Brenda's Got a Baby came on.
Oh shit!
Yeah, That was like 92. I was like 9 years old, and I'm like, this is kind of hard. And it had singing on it, and I'm like, oh wow, it's a story. Because everything else was just a bunch of people dancing in videos at that age I can remember, and that's all I really attributed hip hop to. And I remember at the same time, Jump by Criss Cross was out, and because of that song, I didn't really even give a damn about Criss Cross that much. And people were like, you don't like Criss Cross? Like, not really. So I didn't attribute much to that. Another one that made me think about this topic because Brian brought up Lauryn Hill and talked about the Unplug album.
Ooh, I got something to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it actually ain't about her. One that shifted my music and opened me up was Nirvana's Unplugged album that came out in '93. And people like, what? And it made me listen to other types of music. Yeah. He did a cover of a Pixie song. He did a cover of a Lead Belly song. He did a cover of a David Bowie song. He did a cover of a Christian song on the album. And people are like, what the hell?
Is that pre killing himself?
Yeah, that was one of the last television. Absolutely.
It wasn't like he was like, I'm sorry, he was doing this Unplugged.
I'm misunderstanding. I'm sorry. I'm misunderstanding.
But yeah, that was after Nevermind came out. That was after In Utero came out. So that was one of the last performances they had. But like listening to that album, like they were into music, not just random rock groups that just here for the money. Like they were into music. So I started listening to instrumentation and all that stuff. And then the last one, which shifted me into listening to more hip hop that wasn't commercial, was I know Rich and Jason don't know this. It actually was Little Brother's Chitlin Circuit mixtape made me dig for music rather than just listen to what was presented to me. And I know y'all know this weekend that Little Brother actually finally reunited and performed for the first time in 10 years.
Jeez,
so that actually had me geeked, even though I didn't see many clips from it. But yeah, that shifted me to music where I started going back and listening to all the Common albums. Went back and listened to Eric B. and Rakim. I went back and listened to EPMD, and then started listening to even more like underground music. So that changed my shift in music for the most part.
I got to point this out. Izzo was 9 years old, rocking out to Brenda's Got a Baby, and that was big to him. That was so big to him. So. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Never mind. I can't go into this.
Okay. I did. I was like, damn.
I was gonna joke on you, but then I realized like how that really touched you, so I backed off of
it. I ain't had no churn.
Like, no, they ain't.
Well, for me, when I started listening to hip hop. I started out listening to Snoop. That was the first album I ever bought.
Yeah.
So, Doggy Style. And then I was just listening to West Coast hip hop, like legit. WC, The Mad Circle, all these guys. I was listening to Beanie Bang, Big Bang, Ching Ching Chang, all that shit.
You kill me when you say that.
Bing Bang. That's what I was listening to. So Outkast did their thing. And it was, how can I put how I felt about their music? It was full. It was full and it was rounded and it was all this other stuff. And it was sampled from like legit music that you could find and listen to and like and be like, that's where they got this from. That's where they got this from. And I think that kind of swayed me into listening to a lot of like singles and cuts. Now, there was an album that came out, I know it was 90s, but it was Sway and Tech.
Oh, wow.
And they came out with a mixtape, and that started me listening to mixes and DJs and all these other DJs and stuff.
And that's the same, for people who listen, that's the same Sway that that's on MTV and does all this stuff.
Sway in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it was, I don't know if y'all remember this album or if you ever seen it, but it was the one where when you tilted it, it turned to different pictures.
Yeah.
Holograms?
It had that hologram joint on it. Yeah. That's
they had a video for it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what started me listening to DJs. And I know when I was living in Atlanta, because I think I listen to a lot of different music.
Yeah, I say you do.
But it's when you sit down and you hear something that kind of catches your eye. Green Day was the first alternative group I listened to, and that got me listening to other alternative groups. So all these different genres and all these different types of hip hop and all this stuff kind of changed my perspective on looking at things and the way I acted and the way I treated our life. Because when you're one dimensional and you only listen to one kind of music and you're closed off, that's how you treat life, and you miss out on a lot of shit. Damn. So me listening to a lot of different things opened me up to a lot of different people.
No doubt.
And that's how, you know, I think that's what everybody should do. Take your time. Whenever I post something on, if I post something on Facebook and it's a video that nobody watches or a video that I don't think my certain kind of people should watch, I hashtag it. I listen to everything. You know, because I think that's what people should do. And music can change your life. It can lead you into a really nice place. But if you're closed off and you're only listening to that one thing, it's eventually going to close you off.
That's heavy. Music will kill you, sucker.
I ain't got no response after that.
Did you say I'm gonna kill you?
Music will kill you, sucker.
Oh, I was about to say, did Jason just threaten my life on
nah, bro. Nah,
Rich, where you about to start, Rich?
No, I just said I have no response after that. I mean,
oh yeah, he made it full circle. I felt that shit.
Yeah, for real. I mean, the only thing I'll say is like I never really had a point in my life. This is a little off topic, but Brian took it there. I never had a point in my life where it was really like I had a turning point where I just started listening to all kind of other music. I've always been super well rounded. You know what I mean? And like I always wanted, as a musician, and just me who I am, I've always listened to everything from hip hop to country. You know what I mean? Like everywhere, everything in the middle. So I agree with Brian's point on the fact that if you do put yourself in this box as this is who I am because I'm black, because I'm white, because I'm hip hop, because I'm country, whatever it is, if you put yourself in this box, you close yourself off to everything. Yeah. And you won't be able to experience other stuff, you know, whether that's another culture or just another way of looking at things from, you know, a different musical point of view or whatever it is. So yeah, I've never turned myself like that, put myself in that box, but I definitely had some times. I mean, like Kweli and High Tech was big for me because I mean I know Izzo will probably remember this, man. Back when we was in college, I had my Fruity Loops. I had to download on his computer, dude, because I'm poor as hell and I didn't have my own computer.
I was dreaming about those beats because I'd be sleeping right next to the computer.
You'd be sleeping there. And I was just making beats nonstop. Yeah, so
sure did.
Yeah, and Nappy Roots, man. Believe it or not, when I found Nappy Roots, we was I was a freshman in college, I think.
Freshman year in college, they dropped. Yep, from Kentucky, right?
Yeah, that was heavy for me. Big Crit recently, I'll tell you that, man. Big Crit made me super proud of the South when it comes to like intelligent hip hop. You know what I mean?
It does bother me that people don't say his name a lot.
Yeah, and his live shows are ill too, man. They so hyped. But yeah, stuff like that. It really gets me. That I think that might be the only real turning point that I got in music ever is recently when I hear like Southern cats that's actually talking about something like J. Cole, Crit, even Yellow Wolf. Like you know, when I hear like Southern artists, because you think about it, us being in the South, right? We all get more educated. We start losing our accents and stuff because a Southern slang or a Southern accent or a Southern way of life is seen as unintelligent, right? But then as for the bigger picture for the world, so we start losing stuff like that. But that's that's the only kind of turning point I really got as of late is like when I listen to J. Cole and Big Crit and people like that, and I hear super intelligent people that sound Southern as hell, the way that we sound or used to sound before we lost accent or whatever, it makes me proud.
You know when I'll be proud?
Oh Lord.
When I hear somebody say Bo on mainstream media.
Real talk.
We made it.
Charlemagne has never said Bo.
Listen here, Bo.
Charlemagne ain't never said Bo.
I don't think so.
I'm shocked that he hasn't.
Who, Charlemagne?
Yeah.
Man, he's so fake Northern.
He is.
But what's funny, not to knock him, but I remember that time that because he was probably like 3, 4, 5 years older than us. A lot of them cats were just in the New York shit because the hip hop scene down here wasn't really there, so that's what they grew up on. So
I mean, that's real talk.
Yeah, because probably when he was was young and like that video Rich sent about, you hit your key points when you're about 13, 14. He probably was listening to Mobb Deep and Nas, and Outkast probably was just bubbling, and that wasn't what hit him first. So that's probably why he's in all that New York hip hop.
I mean, I was speaking from someone that used to. If you go back and listen to stuff I recorded when I was younger, it almost sounds like I'm from up north.
Yeah,
just because
all of us used to be into that,
right? Just because of all the good hip hop and everything that we could listen to back then was coming from up there. It wasn't nothing but some BS coming out south.
Yeah,
I mean, other than you got Outkast and T.I. was doing it.
We were listening to hip hop when it was actually areas and people could tell where you came from. Right. Oh, that's that Texas hip hop. That's that. What's the Texas chopped and screwed?
Chopped and screwed. Yeah.
Wasn't a fan, but
like, that's New York or that's West Coast. That's Midwest. Now you can't tell because everybody sounds the same.
Right.
Everybody doing the same thing.
You hear cats up from up top that you like. Normally they would sound super northern, right?
Yeah.
And then they sound southern as hell now.
Well, they just after Chicken Noodle Soup came out, they were done.
That's right.
Shut up, boy. Go away. He said Chicken Noodle Soup.
Somebody told me that was from up north. I was like, what?
Bobby Shmurda didn't count.
I know about Chicken Noodle Soup up top. Damn, Yankees.
Yeah, so I mean,
chill out.
Huh? Have Rich and Sosa said theirs yet?
Nah, well, I mean, Sosa, you want to go first or?
Go ahead, man. I'm just listening.
All right, so
you're on the podcast.
I can't wait to hear Sosa's. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, Sosa's gonna be the one to blow the whole thing.
This is gonna be like Crumbling Herb when I first got some.
Crew changed my life.
With African Black Bar.
Oh, he called you.
You know what? Fuck y'all.
No, man. Go ahead.
Can't help I'm old.
All right. So
all old at this point, brother.
All right. So for me, I can't really say like in my youth, like true youth, like an album that changed my life, because I listened to a lot of classical music when I was younger. Like that was my thing, and then it progressed into rock, and then once I got to college, the album that I would say that has the most from a hip hop perspective that I think I actually connected with was The Blueprint, because that's like the freshman year of college. So then that one, it kind of, and then the production value, the samples that were on it, all those things just kind of remind me of that place in time. And then going from there, looking, okay, well, what's the sample behind this song? And you kind of go back and you start listening to other genres, and you kind of expand from there. I think it's just that now it's like, it's the creative influence of a song, to say that you'd literally take 3 seconds of a song and then turn it into something completely different. I don't think that art form seems like it's been lost now. So I would say The Blueprint would probably be that one. The Roots Things Fall Apart would be another one.
Yes, sir.
Easily one of my favorite albums.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like that would be probably, I would say those two, because it was kind of all at about the same. Because I think Things Fall Apart came out in like 2000. Is it 99, 2000?
99, 2000, in that same
99, 2000.
It's right around there.
Yeah. So I kind of had the same, like, it's like, oh, okay. Like I'll be honest, man, I really didn't start listening to hip hop until like right around that period. Like once I got to college.
I got a question for you.
Huh?
Being that you started listening to hip hop so late.
Yeah.
After you were introduced to Jay-Z and the Roots, did you go back and listen to stuff before then?
Yes.
I respect you,
but it's because of interest in the art form, to kind of see where everything kind of started. Because it's like watching a movie, and then you kind of go into like, oh well, I kind of want to see this character's backstory. So you start to kind of go back and listen to the other art forms. I will be honest with you, listening to stuff because I started out with stuff that's so modern, and then going back to like Grandmaster Flash is just kind of like. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. You had at that point when they were you had to have listened when that was the standard,
right?
You can't watch Japanimation now and then go watch Hanna-Barbera cartoons thinking you're going to get the same effect.
Right?
Oh,
no. That's probably a perfect example. And I mean, I think that, because I started listening to it much later in life, I think that gives a different appreciation for it, because since I was older, my taste in music was kind of already grounded. So I think to that video that I posted earlier, I think it kind of all alludes to the fact that I had like a hey. So yeah, man, it's I mean, I think I would say the Blueprint Things Fall Apart probably the two that were like points in time where things kind of shifted.
That's dope.
Look at the baby.
Look at the baby.
She was waving at y'all a second ago.
Oh, you weren't on the screen, so I didn't see it.
Yeah. She was like, what y'all talking about?
Hip hop. No.
So Mia, what music, what artist and album really changed your life?
Blues Clues.
Blues Clues, right? Now it's probably Paw Patrol is what it is.
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
I'm so out of the loop. I don't know what's going on.
Don't feel bad. I know these things.
All right, so now we got to get to
Sosa,
the elder
statesman of the group. I'm afraid,
and we're not like super far apart in age. So I mean, I'm not picking on you.
No, I know.
But
I know.
What group or what moment, either in hip hop or R&B or whatever you were listening to, what moments actually changed where you were headed?
There's not nothing. So sorry, but I can't say that music ever changed my life. I have a passion for it. I love it. It's funny though, what introduced me into hip hop was Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Okay.
How?
Because at the time in '82 when it came out, and I remember my parents, we went to the mall and my parents bought me, because Beat It was out. So my parents bought me the album because Beat It was everywhere. Like, if you think of Mike was everywhere because Off the Wall was such a big hit.
Yeah.
And then to follow up with Thriller, he was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the time, hip hop was a fad.
Yeah.
They weren't playing it on the radio. They didn't play it on the radio till Saturday night at like 10 o'clock.
Well, they were still doing that in the 90s for a while.
It was considered a fad. Breakdancing was considered a fad. Graffiti was something that people had done forever, but we just somehow incorporated it into hip hop.
Think about the way radio worked, man. It was all one station. They were playing hip hop with the regular music. There was no hip hop station. But go ahead.
They weren't even playing it with the regular music. It was just, you know, we're gonna play Journey and we're gonna play whatever, Duran and all of this other stuff. Y'all can listen to that other shit later.
Yeah.
So, not knowing that, because I did not grow up in an American household, so not knowing that hip hop and R&B are two different things at the time, I just, shit. So let me start hearing this, and then you start getting. That's where things get into division. Okay, now this is hip hop. This is whatever you want to call Mike at the time. I don't know what he was. I thought he was pop.
He was pop to me.
So it really wasn't R&B, but you know, I didn't know that at the time. I was still learning English.
But pop really is.
And then a little further on, you start hearing Grand Wizard Theodore, who had a Puerto Rican dude on his team, Prince Whip, and he was on the mic, and you'd be like, "Oh, Spanish dudes can get on the mic too? Holy shit!" Because at the time, all we were known for was breakdancing.
Yeah, you were right.
We had a lot of, we had a bunch of dudes, tagging walls, but nobody was really on the mic. So Prince Whip, he was Ruby D. I can't think of my earliest. Tito from I forgot what group he was in, but he was in one of those early groups where Red Alert and Magic Mike was going back to back.
Oh wow.
So, and a lot of that was influenced by the older heads because younger kids didn't know, and I wasn't in the area where they would know. So it was my cousin from DC would tune me into this.
Mm-hmm.
Friends from other neighborhoods would tune me into this, and it just But yeah, Thriller was the one that was one thing that set it off, even though that's nowhere near hip hop.
Wow. Well,
But-
that's Huh.
Well, I can
Wouldn't
see
have
that because it's a
expected that.
bridge
Right.
to a lot of other music.
Mhm.
It is.
I mean, look at Vincent
No.
Price's little thing he did on Thriller. That was technically rap.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I mean,
Rhythmic
if you
American
really go into what Michael Jackson was, anyways, and y'all, we were saying is pop music. Pop music just means popular at that time, right? So pop music always changes and evolves into something else because it depends on what's popular at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
now
they
nobody
the
wants to
record,
be pop.
especially the record company. The record company was expecting rap to just be like, oh, this is gonna fall away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they signed Run DMC, but that was like what, 84, 85?
Maybe Walk This Way.
That was like 86.
Man, I think without Rock This Way, Walk This
There
Way,
wouldn't have been.
there wouldn't have been
Get it,
the
baby.
hip hop life right now.
You said there wouldn't be what?
Hip hop wouldn't be where it is right now
Oh, absolutely.
Nah.
Absolutely.
because that one song opened so many different doors and brought hip hop to places where it wouldn't have been ordinarily. Of course, Sugar Hill Gang did what they
both
did.
groups popular.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
That
like
was either their second or third album. That's
Yeah.
what's funny about it.
yeah. Like I said, like it's cool to say, Sugar Hill Gang did what they did. They got broken glasses everywhere. Those are in history books and books that you have to take in college as far as poetry and American poetry.
Mhm.
But without Walk This Way,
Yeah, no.
that
I
door would
agree.
have never opened. That door would have never opened.
I agree with that.
That song had to happen. Like if you want to kill hip hop, build a time machine and stop that from being made.
But
To go
and
from
also,
the Furious 5.
if you think about that time period too, like so rock, right? Rock was hip hop before hip hop was hip hop. Does that make sense?
I see what you're
Like,
saying.
It was a popular thing. Yeah.
Well, it was an unpopular thing almost, but until it became popular. They were like the underdogs of music, right? So rock, you have people who's, that are musicians saying, well, rock isn't music. How many times have we heard that in hip hop? Hip hop isn't music, right?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody singing, ain't nobody doing this, right? So for rock and hip hop to collaborate on that really opened the door, as what you were saying. It opened so many doors for hip hop.
And that video played on MTV. That's saying some shit. But but yeah, I gotta pass. Well, somebody mentioned Crumbling Herb. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it.
It was a very special part of my life. I don't remember it, but I'm sure it was special. But that's go ahead.
What actually changed my life, that made me who I was for a long time, was the commercials of the United Negro College Funds.
Holy
Okay,
what?
we're done with this.
Why?
Let me explain.
Let me
You cannot end on that note.
Go ahead, I'm playing with you.
So, coming from, I'm a son of immigrants. Like, my parents was born over there, raised over there, became adults over there. I was the firstborn here. So you look around our community, and I mean, we're blinders on, so we're not paying attention to other communities. We don't got a lot of people going to college. And there was a specific commercial, and I remember, they used to come on all the time. And Courtney B. Vance was actually, I had to look this up years later. Courtney B. Vance was actually on that commercial.
Oh, really?
And yeah. And he was sitting there, and his parents are trying to explain to him, well, we can't afford to send you to college and this and that. And then his little brother brings him a jar of pennies and said, maybe you can go now. And in my 5-year-old mind, I'm like, if they can't go to school, I'm fucked. I swear on my kids, I swear on everything dear to me. I was 5 or 6, and I was like, I'm never going to school. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I started stealing that week. Because I was like,
America,
swear
oh
to
me.
God, I started stealing that week because I was like, I'm fucking going to school. I don't even know what school I'm going to. I'm fucking going to school. Because early on, my parents put it in my head. You're fucking going to college. We don't care if we can't speak English. You're going to college.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the fuck college was, but I'm going to fucking college. So I had been stealing ever since. And
Wow. I got a listener asking where do you mean when you say over there?
Yeah, because you'd never say that, even though we know.
what?
Over there.
Your
where-
family.
What? Oh, they're from Paraguay. It's a small country in South America.
There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah.
But
Um,
you say you started stealing that week. Like,
Where
I-
to God I started.
My man
stealing
ain't never
that
stopped. My man
Well.
is still stealing.
Wait.
He
I
stole
don't
somebody's
steal no
apartment.
more.
He stole somebody's apartment to film this shit tonight.
and then painted that stuff on the wall.
That's right.
Motherfucker.
But if y'all ever YouTube those commercials, that's the saddest shit.
I don't
ever.
want to because it broke the spirit of a 5-year-old.
Well, hey,
It didn't break.
It didn't really break him.
It emboldened me.
Yeah.
It emboldened you.
That made me be like, there's nowhere in this country for me, but we're gonna make a fucking way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't know the law back then. I didn't think, oh, stealing this is gonna get me fucking locked up.
The word stealing is illegal.
I didn't know that at 5. I just know every time you went to the Brock's, you remember the Brock's candy thing where you could just reach your hand in and take the candy out.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
I just know I could put that shit in my pocket and walk out and nobody said nothing.
Yeah. That's called stealing.
Yeah, that is very.
Well, now it is,
that's the
yeah.
definition.
No. It was stealing back then too. It never was not stealing.
It never stopped. There's no evolution.
Yeah. Like it was always stealing.
You know how I see.
I'm sure there's a
one
statute
kind
of
of music?
limitation somewhere.
You know how I said you listen to one kind of music and you never change? Stealing has always listened to one kind of music.
Yeah. To this day, it's still listening to that same track. Yeah.
Oh man.
But
Hey, but I'll be real with you, man. You ain't alone. I mean, I know we always have conversations, white people and all that kind of stuff. But like, I never thought I was going to school. As a matter of fact, the difference is with your parents instilled in you got to go to college. My dad was like, "What is college?" You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents didn't even graduate high school. So it was crazy for me to even think. I always thought that I'd still be stuck in Orangeburg. You know what I'm saying? Like D-boy or something, probably stealing.
Well, what? And Sosa told us what changed him. Because I got a lot of friends that are still in their hometown. I know a lot of people that are still in their hometowns for one reason or another. Maybe they found love, maybe they had a family, but there's just some that are just stuck there because nobody told them they could do anything else. So what happened with you where somebody just said you could do something else besides being in Orangeburg?
No, man. For me, I just looked around at people I was with and the stuff I was involved with, and I was like, you know what, this ain't who I want to be. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to make a change. And for me, that change was getting out. And real talk, I didn't even fill out my college applications. My high school math teacher and guidance counselor was like, yo, this kid has been dealt a raw hand, right? But he's got so much potential in life that they filled out the applications behind my back. And I was sitting in the English class when I got my acceptance letter to USC. Didn't even fill out the application, nothing. And then it was
so they lied for you.
I knew the stories, but damn, Brian.
Yeah.
God, we canceled.
Is this how we transition to that very last topic?
Oh yeah, we about to. Wee! Speaking of teachers,
this is about to get real dark.
Oh yeah.
But I get you, Jay. I get you. So speaking of teachers, we've been having some incidents in our educational system.
Tell him, baby.
She is sleeping.
Yeah, she's real sleepy.
I swear she's about to go Super Saiyan at any
For
moment.
anybody listening to this podcast, please don't call DSS on Jason. He is not ignoring his child.
No.
She's
No,
just
my-
extremely-
My lady has my baby girl in the other room right now.
Okay. So we've been having some incidents in our educational system where teachers find themselves emboldened to have relationships with their kids.
Oh no.
Now, this is, as far as I know, this was not happening when I was in school.
Oh, it was
All my teachers were ugly.
Whoa.
That don't mean nothing.
He will never
Now,
be on the show.
I'm not. I know Sosa wanted to talk about this, so I'll let Sosa lead what he wanted to say, and then we will follow. Sosa, the floor is yours.
So yeah, teachers fucking students. That's the topic.
I'll wrap
No
it
one
up
said
with a bowl.
No, they're fucking students.
Engaging.
So I'm having this conversation with this younger dude at Best Buy, Desi, dumbass. And
Why you put people government names and shit?
I mean, just put him out
well,
there.
we
my
talked
God.
about him before. And he's like, he asked a serious question though. He's like, would you be like, yeah, go get her, son, or whatever, you know, cheer him on? I'm like, hell no.
As far as your kid, if your kid had a teacher that was
If
interested,
my kid had sexual relations with some dumbass teacher, and my son is 14 right now, I would not cheer that on. I wouldn't be proud of him. I'd be like, look, if you want to practice, you got plenty of girls your age to practice with. You don't need this dumbass teacher. Because any woman any man, I'm sorry, scratch that. Any person who's that age and is trying to deal with children that young, and there are children, you're a fucking loser. I don't give a fuck. That's called pedophiles.
Yep.
They're not calling women teachers pedophiles, but that's what the fuck they are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't be cheering on. I'd be like, look, you do that shit again, I'm gonna smack the fuck out of you.
So do you let it
Practice
get away
with
it?
girls your age or at least seniors. Come on now, you can discipline kids and smack the shit out of them. I don't give a fuck what they say.
So can I play devil's advocate here?
Oh, how?
Yes, sir.
But I gotta hear this.
Hell yeah, right.
Does it change your standpoint if the teacher is so hot that you want her?
Well, then I'll take it. Okay, I'm playing, baby. I'm playing.
But she don't want you though. She wants your son.
No. Well, first of all, you gotta have some kind of boss to come to me to proposition my son. You fucking crazy.
But
You
and
must
then
not
you
know.
know what that makes you?
An
That makes you
accessory.
a trafficker.
Yeah. And so I'm being comic. I was trying to bring some comedy to such
I understand
such a strong
It's just
topic.
crazy though. And it's funny because early on we was talking about, well, how would you feel if it was you? Well,
Yeah.
15, 16-year-old us is different, especially when you have kids. Now I'm a parent.
Because listen, when you 15, and I was explaining to a young lady the other day because she was talking about teenage men, and I was like, she was like, if I went back, blah, 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 blah. I was like, you really don't want to be a teenage boy between the ages of 12 and 16, because that is a horrible time to be alive. We stank. We trying to fuck everything. We don't know why we hard 24/7. It's just it's It's a very difficult time, and your voice changing, and you're awkward. I've never seen a 13 or 14-year-old dude that didn't look awkward.
Have you seen the Netflix show The Big Mouth?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the cartoon. That shit is
that is
hilarious.
But it's so true. Like with the hormone monster be popping out at random points. It's exactly how life is.
Yeah, and you joke about it, like you sitting in your desk, and all of a sudden, bam, you hard because you saw some dumb shit, but the teacher calling people up to the board, and you're like, holy shit, don't call me.
That's why I wore baggy pants.
I mean, that's so dope about us being young because baggy pants was the thing. I couldn't be a 15-year-old wearing these tight ass jeans.
I know,
in the early 80s.
Never worried about that, man.
Not in the late 80s.
You just gotta stuff that junk up in like the waistband and keep it moving.
You can do it.
Y'all so goddamn.
Not
on these tight, stretchy jeans. You can't do that.
Oh yeah, no, the kids these days they through. Yeah, and they even wearing like skinny jean cargo shorts or some shit now. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna see
biker shorts
and still sagging.
Their sperm cell count is dead, man.
Yeah, been dead. Yeah, they not even they don't even need condoms.
Yeah.
But that's how it was in the late 80s too, though. So
yeah.
But I mean,
the baggy pants off.
So I mean, I don't want to sit here and put the complete blame on either side, but knowing how teenage boys are, of course we're going to take whatever the teacher is offering because we don't know any better. We're stupid.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's shit happening with the teenage young man that we can't explain. I feel for my nephew. I don't know how to explain what's going to happen to him in a few years.
And on top of that, man, thank you. And I mean, and I was getting to the point I was going to say is that there's a social element of this, like about the sexual conquest, like that is the thing. So, so saying that, you know, like we're talking about like 15, 16-year-old us, like there was a different construct of what it is. If we were put in that situation versus seeing our kid in that same exact situation, you'd be like, nah, that's not cool. And it's simply because you know, we are unfortunately brought up to where, hey, you know, sexual conquest is the way to go. And anything that gets thrown at me, I need to go ahead and act upon it. I think the talk, quote unquote, the talk is handled different between young women and young men. Agreed.
Okay, with the girl, you're like, you got to do this, you got to do this, don't do this, don't do this, blah, 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 blah. If you're going to do this. With the guys, most of the time in our communities, it's don't bring a baby home.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's telling us or nobody's trying to talk to a young man about what's going to happen with his body. Nobody's telling him about what you're going to experience, what not to act on, what to do to avoid certain situations. We're just told not to bring a baby home. So when we hear that, we were like, oh, I'm good. I can do whatever I want to. Just don't bring a baby home.
Yeah.
You know? So then
I feel robbed. I didn't even get that part of the conversation.
You didn't?
No.
That's the conversation I got.
I didn't get a conversation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm with Izzo. I got zero conversation.
I was letting y'all cook, but I never had no type of conversation.
Yeah.
My parents didn't know how to talk to me about that shit.
I mean, my dad was holding out that whole time anyways. He couldn't. I mean, what can he say?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. At that point, going back to the cartoon that you brought up, you just sending an uninformed kid out with his hormone monster.
That's what we call a penis now?
His hormone monster.
That's our guide.
His hormone monster that's stuck in his waistband.
Yeah.
Brian, she wants to see your penis right now.
My point to that, and I will never dog my parents. I love my parents. They did what they could do and what they knew how to do as best they could. I'm the oldest, so I was the practice. I was the guinea pig.
They got it right the other times, right?
Yeah, the other ones were planned. I was the accident.
I'll just messing with you.
But you have to learn from your parents' mistakes, and I did. I probably didn't do it the right way because I was like, look, You're gonna wake up one morning and all your shit's gonna be wet.
What? Yo, that stopped me in my tracks, bro. Like, what just happened?
Hey, man, I'm
So,
signing
because,
off,
you know,
man. I'm signing off on
I
something.
think it's pee, but it looks like applesauce. I don't know what's going on.
It smells like pancake batter.
Why is my dick hurt? I don't know what's going on.
Oh, man.
but
I think
you gotta
we just
tell them
lost all our
because nobody
viewers.
told me. I'm like,
We have 0 viewers now.
what did y'all think? What did y'all think when it happened? I thought I pissed in my pants. And I was like, wait, why am I sticky though? So
No, man. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
But listen,
Just saying.
you know, it's funny and we laugh about it now, but these are the conversations that should have been had.
Right.
There's nothing you can
And
do
that's why
about
I
the
wanted to
morning.
talk to
Do
my
not
son.
be embarrassed. Do not hide these blankets under the bed. Do not change your blankets in the middle of the night. Just put them in
Wait.
the washing machine. Let's take care of this.
One thing I told him, you better wash your own shit, is what I told him. Ain't put my hand in that shit.
It's
I couldn't
it's
even
gonna
laugh.
happen, but just watch your own shit.
Growing up is traumatic, and this is the shit that kids have to deal with and take to school and not talk to anybody about. And this is what
It's like
creates
it's Fight Club.
exactly.
Don't talk about it.
That's true.
But no, I mean, please, you guys are old enough, and you're gonna be old as fuck with kids, and talk to your kids, man.
God damn it! Don't say that.
I know, right?
You motherfuckers gonna be 45 with a 4-year-old.
Nah, man.
Yo, I commit suicide with that shit. She can come to me and say, "Hey, baby, I'm pregnant." Blah. Dude, I can't imagine being that old with kids, man. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying I don't want to do it.
Man. Yeah, y'all are gonna be some old ass dudes.
Hey, shut up, man.
I'm saying.
Hey,
Hey,
you done started being that guy.
Hey,
Yeah.
I was so on this one, man. Y'all gonna be like 50, 60-year-olds start trying to run around a kid, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be crazy for y'all.
So you
All right,
want
so
us
I'ma
to just
give
get
you-
random people pregnant? This is what you want us to do?
All right,
Y'all
give you-
just need to pick the next fine woman you see and just shoot up that club and see what happens.
And listen,
That
this
is
is
crazy.
number 325 of things not to tell a man with no kids. Hey, you don't have kids. Why would hear that? Or you get older.
I'm just saying, y'all had a good run. Just knock it out already.
That is not a good enough reason to bring a life into this world.
Thank you. I'm happy.
Wait a minute. First of all,
It's not throwing us in
married.
there.
You can do it.
I can. It's not, but still, to answer retort your statement, that's still not a good enough reason. Oh well, it's dark outside. Shit.
Yo, real talk. I've seen women that be like, I just want to have a baby. I want to have a baby. And then they have one and they're just not happy because they didn't wait to find that someone. They just had an agreement.
Because they
I'm
ain't
like,
menopause
why?
now.
No. They had one, but they just found an agreement. I'm not about to have an agreement just to have a child.
Nah, I'm clowning, man.
Oh, I know.
You
So
got
Sosa's not. Sosa's not.
I'm not.
No,
I mean-
Sosa's dead serious.
I mean, everybody on here is good dudes, though. I mean, everybody would be an amazing father, but I'm just saying, or daddy. But yeah. I mean, take your time and you know, take your time, find the right one because it's hard. You got to have that right combination of woman and man to raise the right child.
Mm.
I'm just saying. Motherfuckers ain't getting
Sosa operates off fear. Which is why I really would love to be a fly on the wall when you talk to your son about all this shit.
But I still got to go back.
If you
I
have
still gotta
sex
go
with
back
the
to
wrong woman, your dick will explode.
I mean, that's kind of true.
So there
Yeah,
was this. Since we're talking about relationship with kids, and I was
still gonna
probably
be
wrong for it. There was this girl that my son had a really big crush on, and I could tell that she's gonna be. This was like 2 years ago. I said, Papa, listen, she's gonna be a hoe. Don't catch feelings for her. Sure enough. And I really like the little girl. She's a sweetheart, but she is here. Take this. Here. Take. You can have some too. You know, it's like, could you stop? Parents aren't help, so I just, you got to talk to your kids, man, because damn.
How old is your son again?
Like y'all said, ain't nobody talk to y'all. Fuck, I didn't get a conversation. The one conversation I got was, don't smoke.
Oh yeah, that was implied. That was implied. I never had that. I never had really anybody tell me what not to do. It's like, they just give you that look.
I got the talk. Said, you see me smoking? I said, yeah, don't smoke.
Oh wow.
But you can do it? Yeah, but you don't. Oh, all this in Spanish now. Okay, I won't smoke. I'll just steal.
Because that's gonna pay for my college. I still want to say that y'all mother's gonna be like 80 years old trying to change Pampers, and it ain't gonna be cool.
I'm not doing it.
That's why we work out every day now.
Right.
Ready.
Anyway, we're at an hour 30. I think we're gonna have to cut this one.
Yeah.
We can keep going about other shit, but yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah.
So what we're gonna do is
save it for the next one.
Save it for the next one. Anybody have anything else they wanted to add?
I got something real quick. The Panthers have signed Eric Reed. And if y'all know about Eric Reed, that was the first guy to kneel with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
And I actually saw a clip with Tepper. I forgot his first name, but Tepper is the owner of the Panthers now. And he's not a fan of Donald Trump. And he said he's like, guess I was an owner who had nothing to do with a lot of those talks about the anthem. I didn't care. I felt that they should have been able to do it. And he low-key was shooting shots at Trump. It was kind of funny. So it was like, I think I'm actually like an owner of a team now.
Because they look like idiots listening to this man who doesn't give a fuck about the NFL.
Yeah.
There is no, and I keep saying it, and I've said it on here, there is no such thing as an anthem protest. How many times does somebody have to slow down and say the shit to you in order for you to listen?
Hey, Obama's still a Muslim to them. What do you mean?
Right.
No anthem protest.
Yeah.
Never was. There is no anthem protest. And if we were wrong about why the people are kneeling, if police injustice was not a real thing, then we wouldn't have lost 3 other people last week to this shit.
Yes, sir.
Right.
But anyway, I'm sorry. You know I go through my little rant.
Yeah, but that's all I say. I was very proud of my team for making that move. And then the word has it, like, they didn't even talk to him about his protest stuff. They felt like in the secondary they needed somebody. He was the best person on the board to do it.
Well, if y'all was the Steelers, I'd like y'all now, but y'all ain't. So fuck y'all.
If we was the Steelers, we would have lost.
Shut up.
Do y'all have a
shit the bed last week? I'm not even gonna lie. We shit the bed. Like we gotta buy a new bed. We shit that bed that bad.
Yeah.
We're still not watching.
Y'all flip the mattress.
We're still not watching.
We're still not watching.
We're
following.
That was our rivalry.
I have a confession.
Watch the game.
It was the Browns game out of all of them because I wanted to see Baker Mayfield and I did watch it.
Oh, God damn it. If there was any game this year that I would have watched, it was the Steelers-Ravens game.
Yeah, that was last week. Baker tore that shit up.
I'm just going to put this out here. I watch every Panthers game. I mean, I feel the cause. I feel what you're doing.
You said you don't care?
No. Hey, put down the Brown, brother. Put down the Brown. No. I just think that.
So speaking of the Panthers,
okay,
Ray Caruth gets out in 2 weeks.
Fuck my comment, man.
The killer.
Yep.
We're gonna ignore both of your comments. Anyway, if all hearts and minds are clear, please follow the podcast. You can get us here on YouTube. Follow us.
I got one more, man.
Subscribe to the channel. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This guy.
Venom is coming out this weekend.
Fuck that movie.
I know y'all don't.
Damn.
Listen,
Yeah.
Brian, I felt you, Brian. I was like, it's not gonna have Spider-Man. This is fucking stupid, dude. I'm excited. I don't know what happened the last.
They can't even.
It's like
they had
Agents
to.
of Shield.
Listen, you know why I know you're not gonna like it? Because you follow these comics and you know what they're supposed to be about. They had to change the entire origin in order to not connect it with anything in the Marvel universe.
Well, we'll see.
They can retcon it though. That's what There's some things that can be retcon, and the dude signed up for 3 movies.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what's
Spider-Man's
gonna
be
happen.
in one of these movies.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Okay, they're gonna do 1, maybe 2, and then they're gonna reboot it because the people who own Marvel are gonna buy Venom, and they're gonna say, "Hey, we can do this the right way," and they're gonna redo the whole thing.
They're gonna hope that shit.
I think it's getting done the right way. To be honest with you,
I think they got the. I think I'm with Sosa. Then they got the treatment of the character right. The general treatment of Venom. I think they actually nailed it. But we'll see.
Because if we're talking about origin story, then Ant-Man wasn't like they had to change his whole origin story.
Yeah, that's Scott Lang. Yeah, because Hank Pym was the
Right.
Ant-Man.
So it's like the comics and the MCU. There had to be some changes because
you said Hank Pym was the Ant-Man, right?
Pym's the original Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And that was Wasp Girl's dad.
Yes,
he was the original Ant-Man. They just didn't cover any of that story.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
Brian,
that's
right.
You're right, but I mean, still, it's like
Ultron. Tony Stark didn't do Ultron in the comics.
Yeah, Hank Pym did Ultron. Right.
So there's some, there's some creative
liberties,
differences. But I mean, because of licensing, because of this, because of that.
I'm just going. Okay, so I'll say this: I'm not going to rush and see Venom. I'm in no rush to see.
Trust me if I say it's good.
If you say it's good, I'll go watch it because I trust y'all's opinion.
I think I'm gonna go see it this weekend. I think I am actually gonna do that.
I'm going Friday.
So are you gonna rush and see Transformers?
Bumblebee?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Nah.
They admitted it. I told you I watched that thing, and they admitted it. They did way too much with the. No, they said they did way too much with the Transformers movies. They're not going to do a Transformers 7. They're trying this Bumblebee thing to see if they can reboot it, and if it does, they're going to continue.
Right? Yeah.
But it's not going to be connected.
If this movie does well, they're going to do a soft relaunch, not a reboot.
Yeah.
And they're going to basically lock. It's like the movie will be perpetually set in the 80s, kind of like how the X-Men First Class stuff did.
Mm-hmm.
Like where I think that's where it's going to be locked. And we'll never get to 2007 again, or they'll find some stupid way to do some time travel and then boom, fixed.
Yeah, but,
we'll see.
Yeah. They said they jumped the shark so many times with the Transformers thing that there were things they should have never done.
They're all their own individual movies anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah,
they're not connected.
Much.
Yeah, it's fine.
The only way they're connected is because they got the same cast.
It'll be fine.
But they'll find some chick to put in there with nice lips, like Megan Fox and the British chick they had in there. They look the same.
They did not look the same, but they'll both get it.
They had the same mouth.
Hey, man.
On that note.
Uh-oh. Jason got mad. I talked about Megan Fox. You want me to tell you what I do to Megan Fox? Mouth.
Brian. Hashtag me too. Hashtag me too.
I like beer.
Vein back.
She won't be
Megan
on
Fox
the show.
and Megan Good side by side.
She won't be on the show.
I like turtles.
Megan.
This makes it.
Anyway, if you want to follow us, like I was about to say, if you want to follow us, we're here on YouTube. If you want to follow us on, let's say iTunes, you'll find us on iTunes at
The Company Podcast.
If you want to find us on SoundCloud, you can find us on SoundCloud at
The Company Podcast.
If you want to find us on Google Play Music, we're on Google Play Music at
Company.
And then, like I said, we're on Podbean. I'm not sure how to find us on Podbean, but if you really want the link, you can hit me up on here. All of our Twitter handles are on each of these social networking sites. And of course, like I said, every Monday we try to do this on YouTube at 10 o'clock. You can subscribe and find us here, and it will be here for you, keeping you company. And if all hearts and minds are clear, we bid you adieu. You guys, good night.
Like beer.
Stay blessed. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, man.